welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics Last Non-Classic. This is episode number 945 and Doubleshot number 839. Two Spider-Man related trades. First up it is Venom, Volume 2 Abyss, collecting issues 7 to 12. I believe this is Venom Volume 5. Yes, Volume 5. Written by Danny Cotis, artwork by Ryan Stegman. This one kind of picks up where our last trade left off. Yeah, because if you read the first 12 issues, it does kind of feel like a complete story, while issue 13 starts off a new arc. Because, well, it's like there's many things revealed about the symbiote and Eddie Brock in here. First, let's talk about stuff revealed about the symbiote. Apparently, it's been altering Eddie's memories for some reason. Yeah, that's something that's never been done before. I'm not sure why Danny Coates thought it was a good idea to do. Yeah, apparently he thinks he has history, even though he never did. We also see Eddie Brock's father for the first time in the series, because as far as I know, his father's never been seen. We also see a kid who might be his brother, but that was actually a lie. The kid is not his brother. It's actually his son. As for who the mother is, it's actually interesting. His mother is actually Eddie Brock's ex-wife, Anne. Yes, that is who the mother is. And this is the first time Anne has been seen since Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 number 19. Yeah, this just came out I think it was just last year, It was not that long ago. So she was late last year, early this year, right? I actually think it may have been this year. Yep. So, yeah, I think this is actually the first time in, off the top of my head, I think it's the first time in probably about 18 years that Eddie Brock's ex-wife's been seen. Because I said that she had been last seen back in Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2 number 19. That was an issue done by Howard Mankey. Yeah, that is how long it has been since anybody's seen this woman. My only guess is the reason why Danny Cotis I threw her in here in the flashback, because she was just featured in the Venom movie. Yep. Oh yeah, and also revealed that Eddie Brock's father was abusive toward him when he was younger, and apparently he was kind of the person who steered him to the direction he is, and apparently his father was also rich. Okay, this is a bit unusual. Oh yeah, and also we revealed something about the stuff comes up his tongue got green stuff. Yeah, apparently that was some kind of acid or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Now that was something. The whole thing with the green stuff coming off of Eddie Brock, the Venom's tongue, that was actually done by Eric Larson. Yes, Eric Larson was the one who did that. Yep. And Eddie Brock's this revelation is revealed to him by, of all people, the Maker. Yes, aka Evil Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe. Yeah. As for why that Danny Cotis decided to dig this character up, because the last time and I had seen him prior to him pop up in here was actually in the final issues of Ultimates 2. This, of course, was the Al Ewing run, not the Mark Millar book. No. This is a book that actually ended back in 2017, mind you. Yes. A book that I kind of feel this though got screwed up by Civil War 2 because Al Ewing wanted to fix something if Batman could been this messed up, and apparently and this was a common trend, basically a lot of writers since Age of Ultron, either one, they get bored after a while, they think, oh, we're done. Even though there's still a freaking mess of a timeline, and no one has addressed this. Age of Ultron now, that event happened roughly about 6 years ago, and no one has brought back the timeline. But that's a rant for another time. Also in here, we also get frequent mentions of what happened in Jason Aaron's run for Avengers, the whole thing with the final host, the fact that Venom brought a freaking dragon. Yeah, that's in here as well. And yeah, this is, of course, a very good storyline. Of course, at the end of it, the symbiote leaves Eddie Brock. Also, the whole thing about Eddie Brock and the Venom sort of have an implied sexual relationship. Yeah, my guess is Danny Cotis must have basically saw that and probably figured that was disgusting. So he retconned it and revealed that the symbiote was lying to him about that. Yes. Yeah, he lied about the symbiote being in love with him. Which I should point out, though, I'm sure that Danny Cotis probably saw that when he probably looked at Mike Costler's run, probably thinking, though, yeah, that is disgusting. I'm not sure. He's probably thinking, I'm not sure where Mike Costler came up with this crap. So I'm going to change to reveal that, yeah, the whole thing about the Semi Below Eddie Brock, that was a complete lie. Then how do you explain the first Host miniseries? Yeah, I which will. Of course, it leads into War of the Realms, which I'm pretty much, it's going on right now, and it's very good so far. High praise. At least Jason Aaron knows how to do a crossover event. Unlike Nick Spencer, at least Jason Aaron knows how to make the tie-ins actually freaking count. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is really good. 9.5 out of 10. I should point out my mom is not a fan of this character because she doesn't like symbiote stuff. Alright, next up, something more Spider-Man related. Excuse me. This is Champions Volume 2, The Freelance Lifestyle, collecting issues 6 through 12 of Champions Volume 2. Written by Mark Waid, artwork by Roberto Ramos. Yeah, he is by far the only artist on here. The cover art here is done by Roberto Ramos and Eddie Delegue, who's also the colorist here. Yep, the whole thing with these issues is that there's various different things in here. One, they're dealing with the after effects of basically, basically Champions become popular, and they got merchandise stuff. Well, some merchandise stuff, though they actually accuse of selling out later via something else. The freelancers show up, and they actually beat up a couple homeless guys and have them tell the police that it was the Champions beating them up, even though Champions were actually New Jersey at this point. Yeah, these people are being up in California. Oh yeah, and the Vision's heavily involved in these issues. I'm like, okay, Wade, why the heck do you have the Vision show up this frequently? And the fact that they gave him a ride on the Avengers Quinjet. Even though that, I should point out though, when it comes to the Avengers, the Champions want to be separate from them. Basically, that's what Camilla Comics Marvel has been trying to do with them. Basically, a separate unit from the Avengers. Because the Avengers are basically, exception of their own book, they're written like complete dicks a lot of the time. Where they think they're above everybody. With the exception of the Four and the X-Men. Think like any superhero team, it's like they don't like the fact that the superhero team exists. And a lot of the writers at Marvel have had this humongous thing of the fact that whenever the Avengers pop up in other people's books, mostly team books this happens in, where they're written to be they look down on the team and they basically railroad them, or at least run over them, basically, of how they treat them. And Wade, despite the fact at the time he was writing this, he was also writing the Avengers. Yep. Well, that could explain why he had Vision show up. Of course, at one point, because apparently Vision had been home for a while, Vision grounded her by putting her room on lockdown. And then somehow by the next issue, she's out. Okay, what was all the suspense with that? And she meets with the character Red Locust, who kind of becomes a member of the Champions. So they also meet up with the characters of Patriot and, well, this is of course the third Patriot because, well, apparently now I don't know if I agree with the opinion that they could have brought back the previous person Patriot from the Young Avengers and have created a new one. And of course we have the other Falcon, the one who's basically green, wearing a green suit. Yeah, and there's like one issue that kind of is a tie-in to Secret Empire, but for some reason is not listed as something. Yeah, it's particularly very weird. I mean, this issue is clearly taking place during Secret Empire, and yet for some reason it's not listed as a tie-in. Yeah, that's something I think is a little bit off about this. Let me find out here, because I'm sure for a fact this was not listed as a tie-in. Oh, it was for a couple issues. I forgot it was definitely listed as a tie-in. My mistake. I thought it wasn't. Yeah. Though the tie-in issues, somehow Miss Marvel had been taken into custody by Hydra. Yeah, during the course of the Empire. And they find this Inhuman camp. This Inhuman concentration camp. Because, well, Hydra associated with Nazis. So why not throw in concentration camps? And just sticking humans in there. Not the mutants. Nope. They get shoved to a portion of California, which is called New Titan. It's their own country. The Inhumans, because, well, Inhumans basically are less trusted than the freaking mutants. So put them in concentration camp, Hydra. So, and apparently the military work with Hydra because, well, Hydra took the freaking country at this point. Yep. So they break him out, and they think they find Miss Marvel, but nope, it's not her. And then by the next issue, it's like after they wrap up the whole thing with Secret Empire tie-in, like right afterwards, like in the aftermath, she's back with the team for no explained reason. Nope. There is no editorial note say, hey, we found her here. Nope. Nothing. I'm gonna get this, and of course the end of it does set up the Worlds Collide cross, which comes right after this. I'm gonna give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, I think even Mark Waid realizes though that how much of a really dumb story Secret Empire was, where the tie-ins meant nothing. Yes, at least the tie-ins were trying. At least the case now in the case of this book, like, okay, there is questions I ask about these two tie-ins. Okay, first of which, how the heck they know that Humans Camp was there? Two, like, when was Ms. Marvel taken into custody? I mean, if you read just this, not the main book, I mean, you kind of know vaguely about Secret Empire. 3, why wasn't something like this told in the main book instead of basically heavily focused on frickin' Hydra Cap? Yes, that was major weakness of Secret Empire, was the fact that, well, a lot meant nothing in the end, except the fact that they did mention about the whole destruction of Las Vegas, which, now in the book, they explained that the reason why the Hydra blew up Las Vegas was because they were housing members of Resistance, despite the fact that in the past, Las Vegas also housed a branch of Hydra that was ran by the Kingpin. That's not a joke, that seriously did happen back in the 70s. And apparently, that Nick Spencer forgot that little factoid when it came to writing Hydra. Yeah, that's basically how they are in here. Yeah, and I will get to the aftermath of Secret Empire. And the fact that my personal weakness with it is the fact that lack of Spider-Man. He did virtually nothing in Secret Empire. It's like Slott didn't, like, Slott must have negotiated with Marvel. Like, he must have told Marvel higher-ups, don't have Spider-Man in this crossover. Don't have, Miles Morales pop up in there. But Peter? Nope. Let's have him hide out in another country, taking out Norman Osborn instead of beating up Hydra Cap. But if he can never get a chance to fight him, basically he gets beaten up by another Captain America, who turned out to be the actual one, which I thought was really dumb. Yeah, Secret Empire had this thing where it had a good start to it, but a really, really bad ending to it. And plus the fact that the series overdue a delay. Yes, a delay. And the fact Marvel milked it for 10 issues. Yeah, thank God somebody must have realized, though. Good thing Alex Alonso got removed, and that's why crossovers haven't had this problem of suffering due to delay or milking it through the whole freaking year. Even this year we have several crossovers, but at least they're not, like, really long ones. Thank God for that. The only really long one I can think of is War of the Realms, but as far as I can tell, it's going to come on time. And plus, it's only 5 issues, so yeah, we're not going to have this crossover very long. So there's that. Okay? Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, there's also an issue in here focused on Cyclops being controlled by the Psycho Man. Yes, and also I forgot to mention this, the whole thing with the Freelancers. They had this thing where they call this luxury apartment Champions Tower. I don't know if Wade thinks that's a nod to the original Champions, which their headquarters was called the Champions Tower. And here's kind of the dumb thing when Marvel decided to relaunch this year. I don't see a reason why this book was relaunched. Yeah, there was no reason for this at all. And instead of continuing numbering they had combined with not on the previous volume, but the first volume, they decided to ignore the first volume's part numbering. As a matter of fact, the original Champions, as far as I can tell currently, the original Champions, the group themselves, have never appeared in this book at all. Nope, they never have. And yet they had staff for X-Force, and they had the original X-Force meet X-Static. But not in the case of Champions. Nope. Not at all. Yep. But this is still really good. Okay? Yes, and I'm looking forward to my hands on the last volume to collect Mark Waid's run for this book, which is only 18 issues. Now, I at least got to praise the fact he had a good lineup when this series first started. I mean, you have, basically, here's the lineup for the group. You have Bitvision, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Kamala Khan's Marvel, Sam Alexander Nova, Kid Cyclops, and Amadeus Cho Hulk. This actually is a good lineup. Now, they would add more characters in the next storyline, Defenders for a Day. And I will get to them when I get a chance to talk about that trade. And how, like, 2 of these characters are just not even featured anymore in Marvel Comics for some stupid reason. Yep. Oh, in case you're wondering, like, if you read, like, the first book, where you have Cyclops in a completely different costume, and then you come here and you realize, hey, why in the world is Cyclops' costume different? Well, you gotta read X-Men Blue for that. Yep, that's the explanation for that. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have roughly 2 more videos coming today. One, of course, review of Boruto. The other one, I'm hoping to do this one today. It might not happen today, but excuse me, it's a maybe. It might happen today. And that's a review of Case Closed, with possibly also the review of the newest chapter of the manga. Yep, which just came out just today. Yep. Until I see you next view. Bye.